Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly chilling piece of aviation horror. We're diving headfirst into the screaming skies of a forbidden route, a place where history, mystery, and honestly, absolute terror just completely collide. If you're fascinated by the unexplained in those really dark, haunting corners of the world, well, you're absolutely in the right place. Let's just get right into it.
So, we're actually going to start right at the terrifying end of our story today with this final haunting transmission. Don't let the skies remember you. These are the last recorded words of a missing young fighter pilot named Elias. And what's truly unsettling here is that his ghostly voice, it still serves as a grim warning to pilots flying today. Crazy, right? But to understand exactly why he issued this warning, we need to look at what happened immediately after he vanished. Section 1. A warning from the skies and the aftermath of a missing plane.
The very next morning after Elias disappeared, a massive search operation was launched. But rescuers found absolutely no wreckage. I mean, no crash site, no debris, literally nothing. It was like his fighter plane had just been totally erased from the sky. Yet, his story didn't end with his disappearance. For decades afterward, pilots crossing that exact same route reported something entirely unexplainable. Right through the static of their radios, they'd hear Elias whispering, like desperately warning them to stay away from the planes that still hunted the clouds.
Section 2. The Forbidden Graveyard Route. A mission into the unknown.
Okay, so to understand how Elias became this ghost haunting the airwaves, we really have to loop back to the final days of a brutal world war. The sky above this frozen battlefield was literally said to scream every single night. Pilots ominously dubbed it the graveyard route. It was basically this forbidden stretch of clouds where entire squadrons had just vanished without ever sending out a single distress call. Not one. And right into this terrifying airspace, Elias was handed a mission. He was ordered to escort a damaged bomber straight across enemy territory.
Section 3. The Ghost Squadron appears. Voices from the dead. Now an escort mission sounds simple enough at first, right? But the dread escalates so fast once Elias enters those cursed clouds. Look at this timeline. At hour 0, takeoff seems totally standard. But then, as he pushes into the graveyard route around hour 1, his radio starts to crackle. And it's not just static, it's voices. Literal whispers from pilots who had died months earlier, begging him to turn back before they noticed him. By hour 2, as thunder explodes around his plane, Elias spots them. Dozens of aircraft are flying completely silent beside the damaged bomber he's meant to protect. And these aren't enemy fighters. They're ancient warplanes, just completely covered in thick burn marks. The physical manifestation of these ghost planes is absolutely horrifying. They're flying right alongside him, dripping black smoke from engines that absolutely should not be running. And when Elias looks over into the cockpit windows of these phantom planes, he sees pale pilots. But you guys, they aren't looking ahead. They have empty eye sockets, and they are staring directly at him. Just imagine the sheer freezing panic of that exact moment.
Then, suddenly, out of nowhere, the damaged bomber ahead of Elias, the exact plane he's supposed to be protecting, starts transmitting a terrifying message in Morse code. It spells out, "We never landed." This right here drops our narrative into pure heart-pounding terror. One by one, the silent, burning ghost planes surround Elias's fighter. He is completely boxed in, trapped in the sky.
Section 4. Inside the Infinite Storm. The Anatomy of a Nightmare.
So, surrounded by this ghost squadron, Elias really has no choice. He's forced deeper into a blood-red storm hidden high above the normal clouds. And once inside, he witnesses something entirely outside the realm of sanity. It's literally a graveyard in the sky. Floating inside the storm is the wreckage of thousands of missing aircraft, completely frozen in midair. But they aren't empty. The dead pilots are still inside their ruined cockpits, and they're moving. They're twitching unnaturally, like something else entirely is controlling their dead bodies like puppets on a string.
But the absolutely crucial point here is the monster itself, the entity pulling the strings. Lurking in those blood-red clouds is a gigantic shadow with wings stretching massively across the sky. And it's not made of flesh and bone. No, it's constructed from twisted metal, propellers, and most horrifically, it's fused with screaming human faces. This entity literally feeds on lost pilots. It traps their souls inside this infinite storm forever. And right before Elias's eyes, this monster slams into the damaged bomber he was escorting, violently tearing it apart piece by piece, all while the dead ghost pilots are just laughing through his radio.
Section 5. The Final Transmission and the Fall of Elias. Witnessing this impossible horror, Elias obviously knows he has to get out.
He desperately tries to break formation and escape the storm. But as he tries to flee, these 3 inescapable steps seal his fate. Step 1, his fuel gauge suddenly and inexplicably drops instantly to 0. Step 2, his engine dies completely, leaving him in dead silence amidst all that horrifying laughter on the radio. And Step 3, with absolutely no power and no escape, his aircraft begins to spiral downward, deeper into the endless, hungry storm, as the monster claims yet another victim.
As his dead plane plummets into the terrifying entity below, he manages to broadcast one last message to the airbase far below. Don't let the skies remember you. These are the exact haunting words that brought us into this explainer today. It really leaves us with a chilling realization about the timeless fear of forbidden places, doesn't it? The graveyard route isn't just a place where planes crash, it's a place where souls are consumed. And Elias, well, he's still up there, whispering through the static, trying to save whoever flies a little too close. So, I'll leave you with this thought today. If you were flying through those dark clouds and you heard Elias whispering through the radio, warning you of the pale pilots with empty eyes, would you turn back or would you keep flying and become another piece of twisted metal in the infinite storm? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious and as always, watch the skies.